Hello and welcome live with Lloyd Fam. This is your girl Jazz sitting in for Lloyd again tonight. He is still across the pond and we have a very special guest coming on in a few, but you all know the drill. I have to go through the daily forecast and then I'm going to go to my sponsors and then we're going to start the show. So today is Wednesday, August 27, 2025. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please know that no one from the Live with Lori show will ever DM you for dollars. So the sun is in Virgo, the moon is in Libra. We are in an 8 universal month, a 3 universal week, an 8 universal day. Today appeals to Capricorns, Aquariuses, and Libras, and those who are born on the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th of the month. And of course, with our sponsors, we are starting with moi, yours truly. So yes, go and grab your numbers decoded cards and folder. There are only 2 left in stock, and your number spelt cards dealt. There are only 3 left in stock. My website is on the screen, jazzaphrodite.com/shop. And then you have, of course, Knocking from the Inside, the first book. We'll have that as well from the same website, jazzaphrodite.com. If you want a great summer read, you can get there and pick that book up. Nicholas Brooklyn, celebrating over 50 years in the business on 1396 Fulton Street. So definitely check them out. Very welcoming. You can get all of your crystals, your incenses, and everything of that sort. Check out The Anatomy of Numeration with King Simon. It is on Patreon for June, July, and August. Just go to patreon.com/King Simon Productions. There we have the girl, Kimberly Manifest on Purpose podcast, using the mindset principles to manifest the life that attracts your desires. And Kimberly's also offering business astronumerology, where she is aligning your business with success. So reach out to her to make sure that your business is in alignment with your power numbers. And then we have our girl, Queen B, Melinda Valentine, and she has a $20 off special with the Keys Chart consultation. So you get your key name, your key dates, your key days, your key periods, your life path, using your birth name with the Pythagorean alphabet. And as well, you can get the reflection journals with the fire signs, for the water signs, the air signs, and the earth signs. So check that out. Again, from Melinda Valentine. And then Lloyd, Numbers in You and Beyond, Learning the Art of Numerology as a Career. This course starts on Sunday, August 31st. So scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen to make sure that you are enrolled. And then you have the monthly moon numerology forecast, as well as the video forecast with Lloyd and Kimberly on the Kimberly YouTube channel. So fam, tonight I am honored to bring on our distinguished guest. She is a certified Reiki master. She has a knowledge of the crystals, ancient knowledge of the crystals, and she is here to share her information with us as we talk about 369 and how to manifest with the mind. We are still in August. August is the 17-8 vibration, and so we have the power to build legacy and to bring in that abundance that we so desire. But of course, there is a method to our madness. So without further ado, I will bring on our guest, Ebony, the Energy Stylist. Unmute yourself. Welcome, Eb. Good night.
Good night, and thank you so much. It feels so good to be back on this platform. I'm very grateful to be invited back to this platform.
I'm very happy for you to be back on the platform. All right, Eb. So before we start, I wanted just to shout out some folks because, if I don't get to my fam, they're going to be in the comments like, Jack, you didn't even acknowledge me. So I want to give a shout out to the High Supreme Empress Rel. Thank you, Empress Rel, for moderating tonight. Much appreciated. And thank you for putting it in the chat as well. Yes. We won't be getting to any birthdays, so for those of you who have their birthdays in chat, not tonight. When Lloyd comes back next week, I am sure he will revisit that for you. And so we get here, we have our melanated brown. Hello, melanated peace, blessings, and love. And we have Shuan. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for ordering the second one. I'm so glad you liked the first one. I am honored to be the queen of the numbers. That's what I'm here to do for y'all, to be of service. Thank you, Empress Rail. Yes, yes, girl. I'm putting a little bit of blonde in the blonde for the summer season. Welcome, Mama, mommy at last. All right, yes. Numeralytics. What's up, girl? Queens up, queens up. Hey, Joyce. I hope everything is well. I hope you were able to make it down to our parts of the place. I know not in New York proper, but you know what I mean. All right, so before we even get to what we have in store, please let everybody know how you got involved in Reiki healing and got involved with the crystals. You have such a very powerful relationship with the crystals and with energy healing and sound healing and all of that. What made you gravitate toward those sciences?
Well, first of all, it was just going through life's experiences and wanting to remove a particular energy from my space. And it all started from there. I just, wanted to order me a smudge stick when I learned about sage. I placed an order, I received my order, and the what overcame me as I was touching the crystals and reading in the Reiki book or Reiki for Beginners, I just knew that this was my calling. Like I
Mm,
just knew it. And although I wasn't really satisfied with just Reiki itself, I really had to move on to the sound therapy. So I went to learn that and master that. And the crystals, the relationship that I have with crystals is so beautiful. Those are the celestial angelic beings that I communicate with, that I connect with, and connect with me on such a powerful level that it was mind blowing when it first happened. But I know them to be actual beings of light, angelic light. So,
yeah, I love that. What I love about your practice, and we're going to get into this when we bring up the knowledge on the screen, but you infuse astrology and numerology into the work that you do as well. And how has that helped you in terms of honing and shaping your craft?
it has helped me bridge it all together because first of all, I thought I was doing too much, right? I'm like, I just keep studying and being guided to study this and learn that. But the moment that I thought I was doing too much, I heard it's all connected. Don't worry about it. It's all connected. And you
Yes,
need all of this because it's going to bridge together something very beautiful to allow you to be of service to those who you agreed to be of service to prior to reincarnating on this plane.
I love that. You are so right. It is all connected.
Hmm.
So when people are saying that they want to focus on a specific thing, focusing on a specific healing art is great, but you will find that you have clients who come from so many different walks of life. Having multiple ways to help and heal people should be at the disposal. So, yes, it is all connected. So, I love that. So, let's talk about it because these numbers, 369, are powerful numbers. So, let's talk about it. The magnificence of the mind. Talk about this quote and what this means, please.
Okay, so I've seen this quote numerous times and seen numerous forms of information on it, but then the information that I received was totally different. So when I read it, I'm like, if you only knew the magnificence of the mind, of the 369, I'm sorry, then you would have a key to the universe.
Mm,
And then also connecting that to the first Hermetic principle, the all is mind, the universe is mental. What that spoke to my soul was that Nikola Tesla had to have been talking about the third house, the sixth house, the ninth house, and we couldn't leave out the 12th house. Those are the signs of the mind. And if the universe is mental, the all is mind, and we want that key to the universe, where are we going? What houses do we need to go to access those keys to
Mm,
unlock that door? So
I love that.
that's what this is about.
And the quote says, if you only knew the magnificence of the three, six, and nine, then you would have the key to the universe. Ashe. All right, so let's get into it. I love that, the fact that we're going into the third, the sixth, and the ninth house. So this is the third house. So let's talk about the mental key.
Okay, so this is mental key three, of course, connected to the third house. Gemini, this is the author and the writer. So the key aspects are of Gemini is, of course, is curiosity, communication, duality, and just contemporary literary works. Gemini governs writing utensils such as your notebooks, your pencils, individual pages, like if you're writing your words down, writing your lyrics down, that's governed by Gemini. And then the navigation to this key is relating to how we process our thoughts, how we process information, and it involves just being aware of how we think and how we're processing the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're dealing with that lack mentality, or we're thinking that, oh, I can't do this, or I can't have this thing because someone told you couldn't have it, or you have to go through these steps to get it, this is where, when you do the work, and what this work look like is going within the realm of the third house, embracing the duality, and recognizing the interplay between opposites of light, dark, positive, negative, masculine, and feminine, but especially the masculine and feminine, because nothing is manifested without both of those energies.
Talk about it. Look at
Hmm. So
snap
that's the mental
that card.
fabric of the universe through the mental key three.
So, Eb, if people say, I'm looking at my natal chart, and for those of you who do not have your astrology natal chart, please be sure in whatever city, town, or state that you live in, the state rather, because I think it's a state that governs the records. Make sure you get a vaulted copy of your birth certificate, not just a plain copy, but a vaulted copy because that has the time on it. I'm pretty sure if you're in the Caribbean or in some parts of the Deep South and grown up at a specific time, that may not be available. But for the most part, it should be. And use that to get a natal chart. So this way you can see where all of the planets are on your natal chart. And so if somebody who does have their natal chart, Eb, is looking at their natal wheel and they see that they're looking at the third house, but they don't have anything in the third house. How do you describe that to someone like, well, I see my third house. I mean, you're telling me it's Gemini, but I don't think it's working for me because I don't have any planets or anything here.
Well, remember with houses, or you may not know, but here's the thing about the houses: even if it's empty, it still has an owner. The owner's just out on vacation, right? It still has an owner. Where's the owner? Like, what house is the owner in? What sign is the owner in?
Right.
So, you really want to look at that to really tap into that energy and what that will look like for you.
Love
But
that.
this key is about writing, right? So, you you think about what it is that you desire, you process those thoughts, be sure about what you want, and then you write it down on paper. You have to write it down before you move into the next house that we're going to go into. You want to make sure that you have it all written down, because now it's about to go to the editor.
I love that. So write it down. That's the first step, the three. Now we're in six.
Okay, so mental key six, Virgo. This is the book and the editor. The key aspects of Virgo is detailed analysis, using discernment, and practical reasoning. So, when we think about practical reasoning or discernment or the detailed analysis, this is where I say be sure about what you want. because even if you're sure about what you don't want, you'll get that too. So you have to be sure. And Virgo governs examining, examining everything in detail, systemic evaluation aspects relating to well-being, and a lifestyle promoting wellness. Virgo is also the foods that we choose to eat, right?
Mm,
So this is where you can absolutely be picky about what you're eating, because you want to make sure that you're eating food that feeds the brain cells.
mm,
That's going to be really, really important. And we can't just eat what we want to, pray over it, and think that it's going to be okay unless we're sure about that. If you
mm.
wanted to do that, you'd have to be sure about that. Say, you know what, I know this is not so good for me, but I'm going to eat it. I'm going to pray over it. You've already blocked that blessing of that food feeding your cells because you determined that it wasn't good for you anyway. But now you're going to pray over it. So I really wanted to make that clear in what we eat and being picky about what we eat.
I
Now,
love that.
navigating is this is where the mind refines and organizes the information. So remember when we was writing, now we're organizing that information. We want to be sure. You have to go back and erase something. You let me make say this. Make sure you're writing in pencil,
Mm,
right? Real pencil, real paper. So that if you have to go back and erase anything, that's absolutely okay. And another thing with the navigation is accessing the mental faculties for critical thinking
mm,
and discernment again, and problem solving. The problem solving comes into play with you removing anything from your mind, like any doubt, any thing that you may have experienced that you didn't get it this time, but we think that we missed something, or be like, oh, you should have been there. You missed it, girl. You should have been there. No, we don't miss anything. If it's meant for us, it'll come to us. If we wasn't there, we wasn't supposed to be. And then doing this work is navigating the mind space effectively, focusing on mental clarity and organization. Virgo's energy helps us to categorize and purify our thoughts. That's going to come in with the food as well. Eating foods that feed ourselves. And applying this analysis helps us to create structure and order in our life, because that's what Virgo is about. So with Virgo, it's like this is what you do every day on a regular basis. Me, I had to get into start like I have a time frame of when I start work. So it's from 6 to 9, as long as I'm on at 9. But I had to set it to where this is what time I'm going to start every day. But waking up an hour earlier than my start time to have my me time on a regular basis was very important to me and my mental health, because this is when I can just be with myself. I can meditate in the shower, but this is what I do on a regular basis. And that's Virgo, what you do every single day.
yeah. So to recap, so the three is us writing it down. We're writing it in pencil on paper, and we're being very clear and intentional about what it is that we want, and we're bringing it to our mind's eyes so that we're not focusing on the things that we don't want. We're focusing on all of the positive things that we want. And
Hmm.
when it comes to the Virgo space, we're eating properly to make sure that our body and our cells are healthy, and we're not judging ourselves if we
Hmm.
think that we're eating things that maybe the cheat code or having that
Yeah.
slice of cheesecake or whatever it is that I love, right? And then we are organizing our work. So writing, and so we organize it as we're writing, or the organization comes into play with just our routines, the meditation, the eating, and
um, the Virgo is where you're going to edit what you wrote,
edit. Okay, so we're gonna
right?
edit.
So you when you start writing, don't judge yourself there either, right? Be able to, even if you do automatic writing, eventually it has to be edited.
Yes,
and
it.
rewritten. And you may not be sure about some things, so you'll have to go back and erase. And I guess I got to share this too. When you're done and you're sure, rewrite it. This is where you can rewrite it in Virgo, right? Of course, because this is the editor. This is where you're doing the editing at.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I'm a person I don't really like to write in pencil, and if I do, I don't want all those markings on my paper. So when you say to edit it and then rewrite, yeah, I'm down for the rewrite. So yes,
Right.
because I want it to look neat on my page. Okay, so folks,
Any
you.
Yes, and any copies that you have that you did a lot of erasing on, as Jazz said, she don't like that, burn it. Was
Mm,
you was unsure and you was working things out. Transmute it. Transmute
okay,
that. Mhm.
love that. So that's 6. Now 9.
Okay, so mental key 9, Sagittarius. This is the publisher now. It's ready to go for publishing by you. And Sagittarius, the key aspects are expansion, wisdom, higher learning, and philosophy. Sagittarius governs anything that's sizable, widespread, the act of publishing written works. Remember, your written works, periodicals, and more, oh, just more importantly, belief systems, right? Because you have to believe. And navigating this realm in Sagittarius is where we're given the opportunity to connect with our higher minds, right? This is where we are able to expand our thoughts, we're able to expand our wisdom and our spiritual insight. This is also where we transcend the limitations to the way that we've been thinking and access broader perspectives, right? So when we think about the mental and the mind, and we think about things that we may have experienced that were traumatizing, those can be transmuted by way of changing the way that you respond to it, meaning it doesn't go away, but the way that we respond to it, we can definitely change that. And we also, it lightens the heart. How do you change that? How do you transmute that? Open your heart to forgiveness. Open your heart to forgiveness. Some people don't believe in forgiveness. You know, some people believe that there's nothing to forgive because you created this, right? You signed up for this, but you still have to give yourself grace and forgive.
Let's talk about that. We were speaking about that the other day, and you said something very profound. So a lot of people don't believe in forgiveness because they signed up for it. So what does that mean when you say that they signed up for it? Because you were also talking about people being in a state of victimhood, knowing that they signed up for it.
Okay, so I'm really big on this because in the past, not as much now, but in the past, I would have spiritual temper tantrums. And what that looks like is, okay, so you said that I came in with a soul contract. Everything on that contract I agreed to experience when I incarnated in this lifetime. No way. No way. So I would have to have this self talk and my counsel around me to bring me back to some type of understanding of what this looks like because I wasn't going for it, right? And it just made me think about the children. So you saying these, nah, we ain't doing that. So what it is, and what I learned was that there's interference, right? Frequency interference. So actual spiritual attachments attached to people can throw a wrench in your soul's contract. So
Mm.
we definitely have entities that will interfere with your soul's contract. But if your frequency is above where they can't reach, then they can't interfere.
Mm.
It's a little challenging because we go through things, right? We can't ignore what's going on in the world. We don't have to take part of it, but we can't sit up here and say, oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't just hear that. You know, I don't see what's going on out here. We don't not see it. We know. So that plays a huge role in us raising our frequency too, not being able to ignore what's going on around us. We have family, that's attached to us and they're going through things, right? So that can affect you too. And that is the reason why I tapped into this energy and was just very grateful for receiving this information to just think about it differently.
I love that.
So it would be a work in progress, but you can definitely get there.
Blissfully Evolving 22 says some don't believe in forgiveness, but when does humility come in?
I believe in forgiveness. I'm not sure where that humility comes in for them, but I've always been really big on forgiveness. Why? Because if we talk about Ma'at, let's talk about Ma'at, right? If we're talking about Ma'at and we're talking about weighing the heart, in order for your heart to be as light as that feather, you have to forgive. Holding things within your heart that you're not forgiving makes your heart heavy.
Yes. Yes, elite. Ashe, I believe in that
Yeah.
100%. It makes your heart hard and heavy. And as far as humility goes, Blissfully Evolving 22, I think we need to stop using that word. So they have been going through the dictionary and changing the definitions of words. And the word humility means that you are lowering yourself at a lower level than someone. And so you are degrading yourself in that humility, in that humble state. And so we may want to change that to be honored, to be, like you said, giving yourself grace, because the forgiveness is not for the other person. So people don't believe in it because they believe that they're doing something for the other person. But when you're forgiving for yourself that you can release. And because we are in a 9 universal year, we have to let go of those things, feelings, habits, situations, relationships, jobs, spiritual attachments, because 9 is a spiritual number that no longer serves us. And so that comes in with the grace more so than humility. So let's get back to it. So I've written, I've edited, and now I'm publishing it. And you're saying, how do I publish now? Through the speaking of it and believing?
Yes, so believe. So navigating by embracing, being optimistic, right? Being optimistic, like you just know that nothing is holding you back but you. And
Mm,
once you can let go of the false beliefs, beliefs created by other people, and this is where you can do a scan. Like, is this my belief or was this someone else's belief? If other people are creating your beliefs, if this world is creating your beliefs, then it's time for you to take over.
yeah, I
It's
love
time
that.
for you to take that back over. Take ownership of your beliefs.
That's right. Ashe. So now we're in 12.
Okay, so now we are at Pisces. This is the door. So now we have obtained, once we've obtained those three keys, and the power of three will set you free. Those three keys merge into one key. Now we're at Pisces, the door. Pisces is the movie, the subconscious mind. And just to go back to Gemini, remember, that was the writer. Virgo is the book and the editor. Sagittarius is publishing said book. And now the book becomes a movie. And you're responsible for hiring the actors and actresses and non playable characters that are going to play a role in this new movie. Those keys that you obtain unlocks the door to the subconscious mind. Now let the programming or reprogramming begin.
Hmm.
Pisces governs our dreams, our intuition, our imagination. And it is okay to have a wild imagination. There's nothing wrong with it. And then it also connects us to the collective unconscious.
I love that.
So when we think about Pisces, think about your third eye, right? Or your first eye. That is the eye that we're able to see the movie play out in our dreams. We see it by way of the third eye. versus in this reality here, we have to see things with the physical eye. Of course, we when we go into meditation, and that's the subconscious shower, Pisces, that we want to do on a regular basis also. And visualizing, using our imagination, actually seeing yourself walk into, say, this is a home that you want to have built or that you want to buy. See yourself walking in that door, smell the grass, just use all your senses when you're in your meditation. And I'm telling you, it's just so powerful using those senses. Smell the grass, walk in the door. What does that doorknob feel like? What does it smell like when you open that door? What does that couch over there feel like? What is the material like? Really going in deep. And this is where you're reprogramming the subconscious mind. So you're creating affirmations, you're creating new programs for your subconscious mind. Because one thing about the subconscious mind is it never turns off, it's always on go. So when we respond and we react and we're just going throughout our day, nothing is really happening haphazardly. It's happening for a reason. It's happening subconsciously, but it's what we're unconscious of.
I love that. I love that. We have a question here from Letitia Thomas Russell. Is this all from the mutable signs?
All the signs of the mind. Yes.
Love that. Love that. And like Empress Rose said, hit that like button. Get the likes up. All we ask for are the likes, and they are 100% free. So let's get into these gates. All right. So what do we have?
Okay, so this one was really important that I speak about because we do have one more portal that is going to open up, and that's the Eagles Gate, November the 7th, 2025. When these are the angel gates, so these are the fixed signs. And when we think about 8-8, or the portal is opening on 8-8, the Lion's Gate, and things like that, these portals open up when that sun is at 15 degrees. And it's just not going to always be on the 8th if we're thinking about the Lion's Gate or the Bull's Gate, Angel's Gate, or Eagle's Gate. This particular gate is not on November the 1st for Sawan. It's actually going to open up November the 7th when the sun rises. Or at least I look at it as the sunrise. So November the 7th, 2025, that sun will be at 15 degrees in Scorpio. And this is a very powerful gate if you do that work. If you do that work.
What is the Eagles Gate for those who aren't aware?
The Eagles Gate is connected to Scorpio. This is when it's like this happens on All Souls Day is November the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when the veil is very thin. And yes, the veil is very thin, but that portal is not going to be open until November the 7th, and not before or after.
Got it. And what's significant about the 15 degrees that makes it so potent?
That's what is called the angel degree. And interestingly enough, that is a Gemini degree.
So they're saying there's no sound?
For me,
I'm not sure because I know I have sound going. Speak again, Ed.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. It's just showing that sound is going on. So Queen D, I'm not sure what's going on your side, but definitely check it out. It might be on you. Yeah. So the Eagles Gate is coming up on November 7th because that's All Saints on November 1st. So that's when it's the highest and most potent on
Yes.
the 7th of the month. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So this is when you should definitely be doing work with your ancestors, showing gratitude for all of the help and assistance that they've given you throughout the year. Because when it comes to the wheel of the year, they consider this the new year for them. And we can consider it our new year if
Mm-hmm.
you're just doing that work, because that's exactly what it is. So, yeah, just honor your ancestors. Like this is like having a celestial dinner party. That's
Not the
I don't
last,
know. I just be
first
extra.
supper
I
for the
be so
celestials.
extra with it.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
then, people who do the 369 writing, there are some people who attest to the practice of writing at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and they write what they want 3 times at 3, 6 times at 6, 9 times at 9, 12 times at 12. Will people, what is your idea about that in terms of the manifestation? Because what it sounds like to me, which you're describing, is a lot like scripting. I am imagining the world that I want to live in, and I am writing it out how I see it in my mind's eye, focusing on all of those positive things. I'm editing that, and I'm speaking that into the universe as my prophecy. Like, this is what's happening. So is it a story that I'm telling that is then transmuted and changed into the movie that you spoke about in the 12th house? Or are these affirmations that I'm repeating at these specific points in time?
Yes, it is affirmations that you're repeating. I don't really connect with and that's just me personally, with the 3 o'clock, the six o'clock, and 9 o'clock. I just do it.
Okay.
I just do it. Now, if I wanted to connect with anything, I would connect with my good numbers.
Mm,
Those numbers in numerology, I would connect with those numbers, not necessarily 369. You're already working within the energy of those houses.
I
We're
love that.
talking about the universal mind. And we do have within us that same universe. So that's what we are truly connecting to. So I know they spoke of, or I've heard before, where Nikola Tesla will walk around a building 3 times before he entered it. His hotel room or apartment number had to be a certain number, but that's not what I got. So
All right.
that's just my take. That's just my take.
You got to go with what you got. I agree.
Yep.
So, actually, let me go back because one more question. So, folks should be writing these affirmations, however, whatever time they choose and doing this process in time for this Eagles Gate that's happening
Yes.
November 7th. All right, so you heard it here first, family. Get your stuff written, published in the right frame of mind, and see the movie so that when November 7th comes and this Eagles Gate is open, you are working with the ancestors to bring it into the physical realm. All right, sacred geometry.
Okay. This is another love of mine. So, the language of the angels. So, we just talked about those being the angel gates, the 15 degrees being the angel degree. So, this is where we know that angels are angles. I get tongue tied when I say that. But angles exist inside sacred geometry. So, dimensions are in 90-degree layered angles. So, when we're navigating into the different dimensions, we are entering at a 90-degree angle. And I know that people see that as a hard degree, but it don't have to be. It don't have
Mm,
to be, right? So even when we're working with sacred geometry and crystal grids, we are able to lay those celestial angelic beings on top of that grid in a sacred pattern and really connect with them. It does go out to the universe. It does go out to whatever intention that you set up on that grid.
I love
But
that.
just know that when you're in a dream state, in meditation, and you're just traveling, it's going to always be at a 90-degree angle when going into those different dimensions.
Mm.
And I did want to show an example here where this began to really open up and make even more sense for me. So if you start at Scorpio, first house, that's 30 degrees. The second, I mean, yeah, the second is 60, and the third is 90,
Right.
right? So every 90 degrees on that wheel is going to take you to the houses of the mind.
Yes.
What that looks like for you would have to know your chart, like Jazz said, get your long form, know that exact birth time, because you have to if you want to know your degrees and who's on the rise for you. So the 90 degree is also connected to the aspect which is called a square in astrology. It's said to be a disharmonious aspect, but like I said, it don't have to be. So it can either be forceful, and it may be your greatest ally or your worst ally. If you're doing this work, it's going to work out for you. Why? Because Saturn rewards. The 10th house, governed by Saturn, is the manifestation house. Why is that the manifestation house? Because
Yeah.
this is where your whole chart is your manifest, the whole wheel. That's your manifest. And Saturn governs that chart because Saturn is time. And
Mm-hmm.
when you were born, you took your first breath, that time had to be clocked. That's what makes Saturn, 10th house, Capricorn, the house of manifestation.
Mm-hmm. I see. I love that. And if you even think about the number 10, that's one. 10 within itself is the karmic wheel, right? Wheel of fortune, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely bringing things to fruition in a positive way based on, like you said, if you have done good work. You do good work, you get good rewards. You do bad work, you get no rewards, or you get treated
You still
with
gonna get the
time.
reward.
Get the reward is just not going to be what you were looking for. And so that is that 10 right there, which is one, the beginning of things new, bringing things into the physical form. And so, absolutely, that is the case.
Yeah, like you said, you're still gonna get rewarded.
Right. So, the year of the snake.
The year of the snake. So what I noticed was that in this number 9 universal year, hold on a second.
Yeah.
In this number 9 universal year, when I was looking at the numbers, I just happened to be doing some type of research, and I seen that anytime that every 12 years, according to Chinese astrology, we are in the year of the snake, which is also a 3, a 6, a 9, or a 12. And that was very interesting to me. So that's the Chinese Lunar New Year. But what's so powerful about that also is that it takes 12 years for Jupiter to make his revolution around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just connecting it to the 12 because when I first started with the 369, I was just wondering, like, why is the 12 not a part of this? You can't leave out the 12. So I had to figure out and do some research, like what, like even in meditation, when I say research, that could be meditation for me, to figure out how do we implement 12, because I don't understand why it was being left out, but this makes so much sense. And even the snake, this is where we have to allow ourselves to shed those not so pleasing experiences, right? And in order to, when you're doing that work, you are shedding what no longer serves you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. It may not be comfortable, it may not come without pain, because sometimes we have to let things go that we've been holding on so tightly to, out of fear of being uncomfortable, of not having that thing. When really, when you let it go, you'll be like, I wish I'd have did that sooner. Why didn't I? What was I afraid of?
Right.
Right? Because the snake, when the snake sheds its skin, that is happening so that there can be growth, because the snake is growing and it represents growth. So in order to grow, that skin has to be shed. And as I was watching on one of these science channels, that is a painful process for the snake. So it doesn't come without pain.
Hmm.
And
So I like that. So you were saying every 12 years is the year of the snake, but when you said the 3, 6, and 9, for those who are listening, you were referring to the universal years, right? So every 12 years when we
yes,
have the snake,
yes,
it
the
could be a 3
universe.
universal year, a 6 universal year, or a 9 universal year.
Yes, yes.
Got it. And so why is it so important for Jupiter's revolution around the sun to be mapped at that 12 and be in alignment with that as well?
Just connecting to the 369 method that I do and adding the 12th house in that, because it is the subconscious mind that we are reprogramming. So the next year, the snake is actually going to be a 12,
Mm-hmm. Which is a 3.
3 universal year, right? Because it's going to happen in 2037. 12 years from now, 2037 will be in another year of the snake.
Mm-hmm. Then Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth, good luck, the great benefic, right? And so
Yes.
the largest planet. And so that was. So, what would you tell people to do in preparation now for this November 7th gates, just so folks know? So, we can go through the writing process as well, but what else should they be doing as far as like cleaning their auric fields? Should they be incorporating crystals? What kind of baths should they be taking? Like, what's going on to
Okay,
have?
so absolutely. Spiritual baths, right? Doing frequent spiritual baths, being mindful of what you're listening to, being mindful of what you're watching and taking in, and just listening to just harmonious music, I guess, sound and
Mm-hmm.
frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the spiritual bath is very important. Setting a routine and sticking to that routine instead of being all over the place. That's going to help you do this work that much more better, because you'll be organized. Get your house in alignment. Get
Mm.
it right now. If there's clutter, if it's a mess, guess what? It's reflecting what's going on inside. It's because you have not set no type of routine for yourself. And look, I'm speaking from experience, okay? I am speaking from experience. You have to set a routine for yourself in order to see that outside of you. And
Mm.
so when you even just think about that, keeping your house clean for this Scorpio, when we think about Scorpio too, make sure your bathroom is always, 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 always clean.
Ashe.
Don't, don't do it.
Ashe.
Always.
Yeah. Two places in the house that should always be clean: the bathroom and the kitchen. Kitchen is
Yes.
where we prepare our foods, putting things in the body, and the bathroom is our spiritual cleansing place. So I know my bathroom, if my tub is not shining white, I have nightmares. And so I have bad dreams because I wake up in the middle of the night and start cleaning the tub and pouring all kind of ammonia and stuff all over the place because got to keep the bathroom clean. That is so powerful and so true. Joyce said the snake is also blind at this time. So it tells us we need to trust the process and know the pain shall
I
pass.
love that. Yes. Yes. I love that.
That is blind faith. Hmm.
Blind faith. Mm.
Blind faith. So, what crystals? So, we have a few minutes left. What crystals should people have in preparation for the Eagle's Gate that's coming up?
They can open themselves up to connect with crystals that can call to them. This is where you're using your intuition.
Hmm.
This is where you're using your intuition. I'm going to actually, it's going to be, I want to say October, where I'll be doing custom crystal grids and doing mini reads for what that looks like for you, what it's activating for you, and the appropriate crystals to place on your zodiac wheel, which is a crystal grid.
So, for those who may not be aware of that, what is the crystal grid? And when you say placed on your zodiac wheel, what does that mean?
The crystal grid is the actual zodiac wheel. So that's your chart, your birth chart. Remember your manifest.
And they would need to have the time of date or no?
No, nope.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. As long as on that day we know the degree of the sun.
Okay.
So we're not really necessarily looking at degrees, but would it be best if you had your birth time? Could you make the most of it if you had your birth time? Absolutely. It's not necessary, but that's the power of learning multiple esoteric sciences to connect all of them in one.
Mm. Y'all
Yeah.
heard it, folks. I've been scrolling Ebony's information at the bottom of the screen for the entire show. So just email her at info@cosmicintentions.com to reach out about the October workshop where she is doing the crystal grids aligned to your zodiac and doing the mini reads. So definitely tap in with that because you want to be in alignment with your angelic ancestors, your angelic bodies, and make sure that your auric field is cleansed and purified and just highly attuned. So I love that. Now, I'm a person, when I go to sleep, sometimes I want to play the solfeggio frequencies, right? And so, as a sound healer, what sounds should we be playing or having around us to raise our vibrations for the remainder of the year, not just this Eagles
Mhm.
Gate, because we're still in a nine, and this nine is nining. Seriously, what should we be listening to raise our vibrations while we're sleeping?
Yeah, so the solfeggio frequencies is very powerful. The 432 hertz frequency is very powerful. You can amplify your thoughts and your words just by listening to binaural beats too. Binaural beats are very powerful, but you do have to be very careful because with the binaural beats, you have double, like you have two ears, you have two different frequencies, and then the mind itself is creating that third harmonic frequency. So
Mm,
don't just go on YouTube thinking that, oh, yeah, I'm just going to listen to this one. No, you have to be very careful because that's just not the way to do it. Right.
mm,
So just be careful what you're listening to when you listen to the binaural frequencies. There are some really good ones out there. You just have to vet them and
I,
use discernment.
I love that. Yeah, I'm very, like you said, discerning about what I listen to from YouTube because I'm not sure if people are programming these sounds or other hidden messages and frequencies that's
Yeah.
meant to destroy. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't trust this at all. So unless it's someplace like I purchased this from like Apple or something where I know that this is
Mm-hmm.
something that was put out
Yeah.
specifically with these tones, I don't really mess with YouTube like that. But Quintella, in the standing, said, yes, this nine is most definitely nining. This feels like the strongest 9 year that I have experienced so far during this lifetime. I agree. And just so you all know, everybody was so up in arms and excited about this Lionsgate that's just passed by with this 8-8, even though it was an 8-8-9. It wasn't like an 8-8-8 like it was last year. It's a Lionsgate, but it's still an 8-8-9 energy. We have 999 coming up next month. So triple nine. So if the nine has been nining thus far, it will be nining for sure next month because we will be in a nine universal month. So nine, nine, and nine is serious. It is the culmination of all things that no longer serve. And so if there is anything that you are holding on to, that you know in your heart of hearts, in your soul, in your subconscious, your higher being, your lower being, that you need to let go of, please relinquish it without any fight or forcefulness. Allow it to just leave. Part ways, bless it, love it, make peace with it, let it go. Because it will be ripped from you in a forceful way with this 999 coming. You don't want that. You just want to release things and allow the new to come in. As well as Ebony was speaking about, if you did the work, 999 is also about fulfillment. And so we don't always have to look at it from the negative side. It's fulfillment of all of the work that we have done on ourselves. A lot of times we look outside of self and say that this person needs to do. We are the masters of our self, of our future, of our creations. We are creating and molding and cultivating self. And so if you have been doing that work, that 999 is coming to fulfill all of your deepest desires, because the universe does want to reward us as well. It's not always about lessons and punishment. It's about getting what it is that you've worked so hard to achieve. And so September is also the harvest month, right? And so the harvest coming to you for all of the work that you have done on self. So let's stop worrying about what other people are doing. This is about the actualization of self. So
Mind
yeah,
your business.
Young Fitzgerald said, wish fulfillment.
Yes.
Yes.
Be sure to thank those experiences no matter how harsh.
Mm. I love. Can you repeat that again,
Be sure to thank those experiences no matter how harsh they were.
Be sure to thank those experiences. That's right, because it's all a lesson and it was for our highest and greatest good. And we have 3 more minutes, and so before I give Ev the last word, be sure to forgive yourself and others for believing that you could have done anything differently than you've already done.
I love that.
Right? Absolutely, because they unlock your fullest potential. That's right. So I'm going to give you the last word before I turn it back over to our sponsors. But what say you to the collective before we go?
Um, Hopefully, everyone was able to understand or understand what was shared today. It is so very powerful, near and dear to me as I received this information years ago. I didn't know what this looked like years ago, and it just kept on coming and kept on coming. So, hopefully, you all will put it to good use. I pray and just have faith that you all will do the work that's necessary and take back control of your life and your beliefs.
Hmm.
Take
That's
back
right.
control of your life. You are the master of your universe, right? He who masters technology masters the universe or the universe.
Hmm. He who masters technology masters the what? Say that again.
The universe.
The universe.
Hmm.
And what technologies are you speaking about? You speaking about these
Our
computer tech
technology,
or
our technology,
metaphysical
our
technologies?
metaphysical technology.
See, we got to call that out.
Mm.
Folks gonna be running the AI like, all right, let me get this program.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, I guess it's not safe to assume that everyone would say we are the original technology.
I hear that. So you heard it first, folks. From the Energy Stylist, please reach out to Ebony at info@cosmicintentions.com. Don't forget, in October, she has the crystal grid alignment with your zodiac as well as the mini reads. So definitely email her to inquire about that. Her Cash App has been scrolling across the screen, so please be generous to share some love, and we will have her back in the near future. But Ebony, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming back on the platform.
You are so welcome. It's been a pleasure to be invited back. It feels so good and so right.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. You're welcome. All right, so stay tuned and let me get to these sponsors, because we cannot close out the show without talking about the folks who support us. So, once again, holla at your girl. Get your books, Numbers Decoded, Cards Unfolded. There's only two of those left. Numbers Spelt, Cards Dealt, only three of those left. JazzAphrodite.com/shop. And then you have Knocking from the Inside, which is the first book that you can get from me. It'll be signed as well. You can also listen to it on Audible, so you don't always have to get the written version, but you can. And then we have Nicholas Brooklyn, celebrating over 50 years in business in Bed-Stuy, do or die, 1396 Fulton Street. Holla at your boy King Simon. And he has the Anatomy of Numerovation. And he has parts 1 for June, parts 2 for July, part 3 for August. Go to patreon.com/King Simon Productions. Then tap into Manifest on Purpose podcast with Kimberly, using mindset principles to manifest the life that attracts your desires. And Kimberly has extended a free service where if you reach out to her, she will help you to align your business with your successful power number. So if you want to know about your mission and your brand identity, targeting your ideal audience or your best business days and key numbers, tap in, tap in, tap in. And then we have Melinda Valentine, Queen Bee, Queens Up, $20 off. And she is providing the keys chart consult with your key name, your key days, your key dates, your key periods, and your life path, as well as she has the reflection journals in the 4 elements. So for the fire signs, the water signs, the air signs, and the earth signs. And then we have Lloyd, who has his class starting this Sunday that's coming up, August 31st. Scan the QR code if you are interested in learning the art of numerology as a career. So definitely tap into that. And then we have the monthly moon numerology forecast for August 2025. Check that out. Go to lloyd-strayhorn.com, and then you can also check out Lloyd and Kimberly on Kimberly's YouTube channel where they are doing the video forecast as well. So, family, it has been great sitting in for Lloyd this week, and I hope that the information that we provided is informative and is helping you making wise life decisions. But Lloyd will be back with you all next week. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and we will be back with you next week with Lloyd. So have a great night, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, y'all.